listening to another episode of Streamer Struggles with Gleaney, and today our special guest, Registered Nerd!
God damn. How you doing, Registered?
I'm doing fantastic, Gleaney. How about yourself?
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm good. Good. I said it too many times. Right, let's get into it, bud. So,
All right.
what got you into streaming? Take me on your journey.
Okay. So I think ever since I was young and in elementary school and stuff like that, so I traveled a lot around different schools and stuff. So I was always the new kid. So I always had to make new friends, start over, things like that. And my one way to really kind of break the ice was always making people laugh and making them, just kind of like bringing down the defenses. So I always kind of had that inherent ability to try to, break the ice and be entertaining and fun. I probably get that from my dad. He was very much into the entertainment biz when he was in college and whatnot. So I always kind of wanted to do that, but I just never really had a means or a platform to really do it on. And then as life went on and life kind of took its course, I found things like Twitch and YouTube, and that actually became a big part of my entertainment ritual. I kind of gave up a lot of TV and just would watch my favorite streamers and YouTubers, and then just one day things kind of fell into place, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to stop being a viewer and I'm going to start being a content creator. And I kind of ran it past my wife at the time, and I was just thinking like she would kind of, she's always been my anchor, she's been my ground, and I thought she'd be like, I don't know, it's a big undertaking and a lot of stuff. She was like, no, do it. You are funny as hell. People like you. Get out there and do it. And that was like the thing. When the missus gives you permission, you grab it and you run.
Oh, man, that's fantastic.
And that was, yeah. And I mean, there was also a lot of little things just prior to it. I mean, so back in February, she had also actually left her job of like 15 plus years as a manager of a manufacturing company to manage a pizzeria, which is now our family restaurant. And that really kind of inspired me to be like, you know what, you've done all this for so many years and you've wanted to do this, or this is a big plunge. This is a new time, to really kind of grow and discover yourself. I said, you know what, now is the time. And then a month later, good old Auntie Rona showed up.
Yeah, oh God.
Yeah. So a lot of eyeballs were on the screens, and I'm like, hey, you know what better time than now? There's a lot of viewers out there for me to meet and wonderful people to develop new friendships and relationships with, and it's just been a wild ride ever since.
Wow, fantastic. So how did you discover it? So what was your entry point? Like, how did you find out about Twitch?
So Twitch, actually, it was really weird. So I have to take a couple steps back. I was in a really rough time in life. I was just starting off my career as a nurse. It was super stressful, and I needed some kind of a coping mechanism because it was just like, wow, it blew my mind. So one hobby I always had throughout my life, on and off, was a little card game called Magic the Gathering. So I was looking through YouTube for just videos on like what are the new sets and cards and all this stuff. And I stumbled across this, oddly enough, a comedy troupe called Loading Ready Run on YouTube. And every November, they actually throw a donation run called Desert Bus for Hope, which, a little background on that is basically is a fundraiser that runs for usually about a week. And it will help fund a lot of children's hospitals throughout several countries, supplying them with games and stuff like that. And I thought that was really cool. And they said, come follow us on Twitch to see the whole thing take place, because they were normally on YouTube. And I'm like, what the heck is Twitch? And I'm like, oh, wow, like I'm actually interacting with them in real time. I can chat, I can donate and stuff. I was like, this is really cool. And then I started realizing, wow, there's like a slew of people on here for video games and just chatting and all this stuff. And that kind of just started consuming. I watched less television and started watching more Twitch, and it just kind of consumed me from there.
Wow. So it's quite interesting that you got in on card games. Yeah, on Magic the Gathering was like your entryway in. So how long ago was that? Just to get like a time frame for you.
So that was probably about like 2013, 2014.
Okay.
So 6 years. Six years is a decent amount of time, but yeah, and then it took me really, I was just kind of a viewer from that time on, watching, and I consumed a lot of other things, podcasts and and videos on YouTube and stuff like that. But yeah, it's been over 5-6 years. I really kind of just was like, you know what, I have fun being a viewer, but I really want to jump in and see what this is all about. And, you know, it's been a wild ride ever since learning all the technology and computers and cameras and lighting and color grading and all this stuff. It's just been like really, really cool.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely a discovery of like multiple skills when you decide that you want to stream. I know anything about audio. I don't know how you are for audio. Did you know shit about audio? You knew something. Not really.
Actually, I can attribute all that to JCC.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
he's been my anchor for that.
He's pretty amazing, actually. Yeah, with the audio, video, all the things and stuff. So, who are your influences? Like, you said you watched Magic the Gathering, been watching Twitch for a long time. Who were the streamers that influenced you in that time?
So honestly, I've kind of come and gone through a host of them. The ones that really kind of motivated me, that like, wow, I could really like do something. I could build a community maybe and have a lot of people follow me. And this may seem kind of like a rip, but I watched the Mingo Boys streamer struggles this morning.
Yeah.
And Markiplier was definitely one of those YouTubers that just the entertainment value, his voice, the way he like carried himself and all that stuff, like watching him on the, you know, the horror games and stuff like that, just seeing how he carried himself and how entertaining he was. Like, I was just really like, wow, this is crazy. And then when you see how many subscribers somebody like that has, I was like, wow, this is absolutely insane. So that like that energy and that entertainment value and just being like I don't watch TV, but I will watch Markiplier, like really says something about that entertainer as a person and their skill set. So that really just kind of inspired me. Like, you know what? I am absolutely goofy like that. I love making people laugh and kind of making people laugh at my expense or just being a total nutcase. That really makes me feel like I actually have a place here. Like, you don't have to be some crazy over the top, like, you know, professional type of broadcaster or you know, actually have formal, you know, acting training or, you know, go to, you know, some kind of drama classes or anything like that. Like, as long as you have like a good solid personality, the drive and the discipline to just keep it going and stuff like that, you know, you can really make your own footing on this platform. And that really kind of resonated with me. And just seeing all the different things, like watching Loading Ready Run do everything from comedy to you know, Magic the Gathering and, you know, all kinds of stuff like that. God, there's so many. One actually I got into fairly recently in the last year is this really awesome streamer by the name of Gleaney. They are a hilarious variety comedy streamer who mostly does Dead by Daylight, but if you have a moment, definitely check Granny out. She is absolutely hilarious. The community is just spot on. They have mods, but they honestly don't need them. And seeing how she carries that out and that she has mods and that community is just so self-regulated. And I mean, we're talking hundreds of viewers every stream. That just really inspires me and gives me the drive that like, whatever your focus, whatever your inspiration is, you know, whether you're super into card games or just making people laugh or comedy or writing and sharing your works with other people, there is a place for you somewhere here on the internet, whether it's, you know, Twitch, you know, Facebook gaming, whatever. If you have the time and you have the drive, you can make it work.
Yeah, I mean, like platforms like Twitch, YouTube have really kind of opened it up and taken away a lot of gatekeepers to you producing and creating content, which I find like super inspiring. What you just said there about how, you know, you've got like these entertainers like Markiplier and some of the other examples that you gave, that they can just, you know, they can just do it. They don't need to ask permission or get a yes from a big corporation to have their own show. They create their own show and it's there. And
exactly. Like, who would have thought like 20 years ago, I mean, you had to have a radio license or like, you know, just run yourself into the ground to be on a radio station just to get your voice heard through the airwaves and whatnot. And I mean, now I'm literally broadcasting to the world from my family room with a streamer from the United Kingdom, which is absolutely amazing how two people from across the planet can connect like this. It's just amazing.
Yeah, I know. It's so cool. It really blows your mind if you think about it too long.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what's been challenging for you since the start of your journey from starting to stream, getting affiliate to now? What has been really challenging for you?
So, I mean, some of the like the most obvious ones would definitely be time. You know, I'm a full-time worker, healthcare worker, which, you know, especially now has been particularly challenging. You know, but I'm also, you know, a family guy. You know, a wife and 2 kids to take care of, and, you know, amongst other things. And now, you know, I went and did something really stupid, and, you know, we're putting our house up for sale now. So we're like rushing to do that. So definitely balancing time between all those aspects, because you know what, if there's one thing I learned from, I guess, which would really be another, I mean, I was kind of already streaming, but when I found him, but another inspiration and a good tool, Harris Heller, which you know all too well. Some of the skills that he told me were like, you know, you don't grow by going live. You know, you grow by building your presence on other platforms and things like that. And that's definitely been a struggle. I've been trying to find, like, you know, it's hard enough for me to hit go live, have the stream behave itself, and then, you know, be there to be entertaining for someone for anywhere from 2 to 4 hours on a weekday when I have to get up, you know, to work the next morning, as well as get kids to bed and get them up for work or for, you know, for school and getting ready for work and all the other stuff. As parents, we have a really, you know, limited amount of time as it is. So to be able to carve out the time to not just go on, you know, reliably and consistently, but it's also just almost like finding the time to just get on and be like, you know, there's those days. I mean, even when it's like your full-time gig, you hear this streamer saying, you know, I'm just not feeling it today, or I've kind of burnt myself out, or, you know, the content's not really coming to me, nothing's speaking to me. And it can be rough to, you know, especially when you're like, you know, I'm going to take a couple days off or maybe a week off. You know, for some people, it can be really rough to just, all right, I'm going to hit the ground running again. Let's go. And with all those responsibilities that we have as a family, I do have to admit that has been a bit of a struggle. But, you know, some days it's just, you know, I remember there are people out there that may be relying on me just to kind of brighten their day a little bit. Or, you know, even me just getting on to support my fellow streaming pals like yourself and JC and Confused and everyone. You know, you remember that there's a community out there that, you know, is not just viewers, but other streamers that are growing with you together. And you kind of have to just remember that, you know, you're not in it alone. You know, don't let the metrics keep you down. That's one thing too. I definitely have to admit, sometimes when you're streaming to a couple of people or sometimes no people, especially when you change up the game, you try to keep things fresh. Sometimes watching those metrics not go in the right direction that you want is a little bit frustrating. But I just kind of, lately I've been turning off the viewer counts and stuff like that, and just kind of just going and just pretending that there's a handful of people watching anyway. And for some people that can be a struggle too, but you know, it's, you know, just getting on and doing it is it's the key right now. And having cohorts like yourself and other fantastic streamers has really made it much more, you know, manageable and enjoyable.
Oh, so nice. Yeah, no, but you're right about the viewer count, man. I used to have it on, and it used to just gain me so hard. Like, I just be like looking at it all the time, like, oh, it's gone down. And like, oh, why did it go down? Oh, why has it gone up? So yeah, I just take that shit up. I can't
I feel like it dictates your energy level sometimes. Yeah. Like, I've even caught myself, like, I'll go back and like watch a couple highlights of the VODs and stuff like that, just to see, like, because, you know, they always say, like, when you watch yourself, it seems like totally different, and it really does. And I notice when, like, all of a sudden I'll get a spike of, like, you know, 10 or 12 viewers, and I'll be like, you know, I just see myself kind of do that glance over to the other monitor and be like, oh, okay. And then all of a sudden, like, you notice they're more energetic. It's like they just got a shot of adrenaline or something like that. And then when you see that, you know, 15, 20 minutes later, that count just kind of drop again. You're like, oh. You know, you don't want to, you don't want that to kind of dictate your energy level. So I've really been trying to just not care about the metrics. I've even actually, for a while, I stopped the email notification from Stream Elements and Twitch because I didn't want like this reminder popping in my inbox later the next day when I'm at work, you know, telling me like, hey, you know, you're tired because you streamed all night. And by the way, your average viewer count was 2. Like, I don't need that kind of energy to kill my flow at work too. So I've just been coming on, doing what I got to do, try to be funny, engage, and, you know, just see where this road takes me.
Awesome. That's great. So what has been your games, like your game path, I guess? What have been some of the games that you've been playing? What's your journey with the games?
I think I'm kind of most, if I could really say I'm famous, famous for like the family fun kind of Nintendo stuff. I started first streaming with Animal Crossing because that game was absolutely bonkers and getting crazy viewer numbers. So that just seemed like from a strategy perspective, like the way to go. But it also was just from a tech perspective too. It was less straining on my setup. I don't really have a PC setup that is like, I can't go rocking, Destiny 2 raids, in 1080p 60. So I was just like, you know what, this is fun. I have all this stuff. I have a Switch, I have a PlayStation. So I've been doing a lot of like Animal Crossing, which is a real fun one. And I like that because it can be really chill. And just the nature of Animal Crossing is just, there's no wrong way to play. You just kind of come in, have fun, socialize with people, especially in the time that we're at where we can't socialize. Paper Mario I've been doing a lot of lately, which is actually a lot of fun. I haven't played a Paper Mario title in a long time, and I think it's that fun kind of like family-friendly sort of RPG kind of thing. So that's been really cool. And then PlayStation, I've been doing Ghost of Tsushima, which was awesome.
Such a good game.
Yeah, I stopped actually streaming it and watching it on Twitch because I wasn't able really to get on and dedicate a lot of time to it, and I didn't want to get spoiled on the story because it seems like it's so good.
It's so good.
Yeah. So, and then for a while I did, when Last of Us 2 came out, I did a little series where I was kind of like going back and playing Last of Us 1. And I noticed like the viewership wasn't too great with it. And at the time, my Elgato was not behaving with the PlayStation. So I kind of curbed that one a little bit. But I feel like I'm still kind of finding my game path, sort of. Like, I really have a lot of fun with the family friendly Nintendo stuff. Just because not only is it just, it's lighthearted, it's fun, hopefully you don't have to worry about some of the toxic nature, some of the more competitive or aggressive kind of a game. And also on a little bit more of a selfish note, my kids do actually like to watch my VODs of me playing Paper Mario. So my older son, who is actually blowing past me in Paper Mario, I got to give him mad props. He'll be like, "Oh, Daddy, did you get to the next developmental? Oh, did you get the red streamer yet?" And I'll be like, just watch, bud. Just sit there and watch. It's okay. So it's really fun to see them like the first time my 4-year-old saw my face on the TV over the internet, his eyes just light up. He's like, "Oh my God, Daddy's on the internet." And it was just so cool seeing that. So like being able to like make content that is still kind of, fun for, any age. But at the same time too, I'm a total freaking nut job and a goofball, and I am definitely not always PG as far as the way chat can go. And that's the other thing too, I don't want to exclude too many people, because I've definitely met a lot of great people out there that are just not, hey, they don't have kids, they're not family people, but they should still be able to act like adults when they want to. So I'm still kind of gauging my path and what my community's like, but we have time, we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, it's a marathon, it's not a sprint.
Definitely. Ooh,
but yeah,
definitely.
It's good that you're asking these questions as well, like who your audience are, what's the type, what's the game types you're playing, what are the genres, like you're really thinking about that stuff is really great. Yeah, I think if you're thinking about that stuff already, you're miles ahead. Have you got any funny stories or troll stories or anything you want to share with what's happened to you so far on Twitch?
Yeah, I mean, so there's a couple of times where I've had some interesting plays. Actually, you were sort of involved in one of them.
Oh, really?
Gleaney
the troll.
Sort of. No, not it wasn't you directly, but this is when I was playing Hollow Knight for a little while, and I had a crazy. I mean, this had to be like a 7 or 8 hour stream overnight, and I didn't realize how late it was until I looked out my window just past my computer here and was like, "Holy crap, the sun's coming up!" And it was another fantastic streamer by the name of Miss Invictus. We were just kind of like vibing off each other in the chat, and it was just going all sorts of crazy. I mean, it went from, again, my chat's usually pretty chill to like holy cow, this is straight up like like funny troll city. It was just like some ridiculous over the top just shenanigans, which was just great. And that has to be one of my favorite streams to date for me, doing a stream, because it was just, even though I streamed for 8 hours straight, like I legit looked out the window, was like, holy shit, the sun's coming up. This is crazy. because I did not feel tired. I was so amped. I was having so much fun because I had a great chat that was coming in. And then you were actually, I think you were getting ready to like get ready for the day, and you just popped in. And you're like, "Hey, nerd, what's up?" Like, wow, you're up early or you're up late. And I was just like, yeah, I just noticed that now. And that was just so cool to do. And then there's been other times where like legit, I think when I got my first 10 follows, I had like 2 or 3 people pop in. They were like, "Oh man, what's up? Oh, this is cool. You're playing Animal Crossing. Sweet." And he goes, "Oh, I'm so bummed though." And I'm like, "Why? What's that?" And he goes, "Yeah, my I just found out my sister has the COVID." And I'm like, "Really? Oh man, that sucks." I'm like, me being a nurse, I'm like, just make sure you're taking care of yourself, keep yourself distanced and drink lots of fluids and stuff. And he goes, "Yeah, but my biggest bummer is now I got to use a condom." And I'm like,
Oh god.
"Wait, what?"
Oh
and like,
god.
I'm like,
oh.
"All right, so anyway, moving on, we're gonna go catch some fish." And I'm gonna pluck some weeds and just ignore that chat. Like, so yeah, there's definitely been some interesting circumstances where I've had some chat just kind of troll a little bit, but it is what it is. Welcome to Twitch. Welcome to internet, content creation.
Yep. The internet, it giveth and it take awayeth. What are some of your goals? Like, what are your goals for the future? Like, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
So people ask me, like, if you ever had the opportunity to go like a full-time streamer, would you do it? And I think it would be awesome to do it. But realistically, again, being a family man and having responsibility, to my family and, being a breadwinner and bringing in benefits and stuff like that. I don't know if that would really be a possibility, but I mean, who knows? 5 years, a lot of things can change. If you would have told me 5 years ago that, you're going to be making a fool of yourself on the internet and making people laugh, I would have been like, "You're crazy." Actually, honestly, if you would have told me 10 years ago that you were going to be a registered nurse, I would have said, "You are absolutely freaking crazy." So, who really even knows? I really foresee me I want to keep this thing running as long as possible. Just having fun, building an amazing community. If I happen to, make a bit of money off of it, it would really go back into the stream to make it look great, sound great, keep it running. And maybe if I could dial back some hours from a full-time job and dedicate more time to doing this full-time, or just branching out to other avenues of entertainment, whether it be YouTube or whatever the internet has in store for us in 5 years. I would definitely love to take some level of internet content creation and entertainment, to a higher level, to something to where I can maybe reach a new audience or a larger audience or something like that, or even just be able to do the things I really want to do. Like early on, before I started doing Twitch, I was going to New York Comic Con and doing a lot of filmings of, just kind of what's, what is this environment like, checking out all the cool cosplays and stuff, and being able to have either the finances or the time to be able to do that and know that people are going to support me to see more of that content, I think would be fun. So, maybe being able to travel more or go to more, conventions and things like that whenever the world kind of, goes back to normal.
Yeah.
I think would definitely be a fun things to do. Yeah, who knows what normal is going to be moving forward, but it's just I honestly don't know what life is going to hold for us in 5 years, but I really hope that to some degree it still involves me, being creative, meeting other like-minded creative individuals, and just having a blast, all while doing it.
Fantastic. So Registered, if you want to shout out your channel, YouTube, Twitter, all the things and stuff.
Absolutely.
And then we'll rock into some questions.
Definitely. So you can catch me on twitch.tv/registered_nerd, and that's NURD. I'm also on Twitter @registered_nerd. Usually a little bit more active on there. I do have a YouTube channel set up, but it's just been a real challenge just trying to get content up on YouTube. So that's something I'm really hoping in the next month or two to start producing. So you can just Google me, Registered Nerd, on YouTube. And right now, streaming schedule wise, I've been trying to do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but it's been a little bit of a hassle. So I'm going to try to dial it in and dial it back a little bit, to be able to dedicate a fair amount of time to Twitch, and also, dedicate some time to either YouTube, or who knows, I may get on the TikToks, like the rest of society. So I'd love to see everyone out there and having a good time. I'm gonna be one of those grandpa millennials that's just like I'm YouTube and videos from kids that are probably like 5-10 years younger than me, trying to figure out what the heck to do. But I have some really cool stuff lined up. I've been just penciling in some ideas of just like the thing I like about TikTok is that I don't want to say it's simple as far as a production, but it's like it's fun, bite-sized entertainment, and it's like, you know, I've come up with a few ideas that I think will be really cool, and you know, it'll hopefully will grasp people to, you know, reel them in, because we all know Twitch's discoverability is pretty much non-existent. So,
agreed. Yeah, 100%. So cool. Registered Nerd, thank you so much for coming on. Chat, are there any questions for Registered Nerd? Do you have any questions? Any questions in the chat? I did say save your questions for the end. I felt like I came too harsh on them. Now they're like, oh god.
That's okay.
It's all right.
That's all right. Do you have any other side notes, or like like a lot of people have asked me, like, you know, as a nurse, like what possessed you to you know, like, especially as a male nurse. I mean, that's one thing I get all the time, to like, why as a dude, like, why didn't you go into, and I'm like super into like computers and things like that. I'm not like the most technologically, you know, like I know some level of some things, but they're like, what possessed you as a guy to get into nursing and everything like that? And honestly, it was, at the time, it was just to get a good steady job. I was working retail, just getting out of the military, and needed a way to get back up on my feet and stuff like that. And at the time, I was just like, this medical field seems pretty stable, pretty reliable. And it's just definitely been a wild journey ever since. And it, you know, it has that inherent benefit of, you know, it's also a well-paying job, but at the same time, you really have a serious impact on some people's lives and things like that. So, you know, honestly, whether you're, you know, guy or girl, same thing on Twitch. I mean, whether you're male, female, you know, don't associate to either, you know, gender, whatever it is, as long as you're doing something that you feel you're passionate about, or that you feel is, you know, giving you the feedback or the, you know, the validation to make you feel like you're really making an impact on people's lives, whether it's, you know, touching people on Twitch and making their days better, or, you know, healing people in the medical field, or, you know, even making businesses being able to run from an IT perspective. As long as you're doing what you enjoy or what makes you, you know, fulfilled in life, who cares whether you're male, female, or otherwise?
Exactly. 100%. I agree with everything you've just said. Yeah. Oh man, that's so cool. Anyway, thank you so much for coming on Streamer Struggles. I don't know, chat hasn't responded with stuff, so I'm assuming
it's all good.
I'm assuming that they're on. We're so good. We answered all the questions with that on top of it.
Well, if anyone has any other questions, you know where to reach me on Twitter at registered_nerd.
Yeah, and go check out Registered Nerd's channel, man. He is hilarious, funny guy, super funny, makes me laugh. Go check him out. I had one question until you asked it. You answered it at the end. Oh, okay. All right, so you answered it. See, we're that good.
Nice.
Go team.
All right. I can read minds apparently too.
You have superpowers. You didn't tell me. Hey, what did you think of did you check out Mingo Boy's setup? Because I know you like comics and stuff like Registered Nerd.
No, yeah, I got about halfway through the Streamer Struggles video before, you know, I just kind of had to rush into the whole adulting thing.
Oh yeah.
So I definitely want to scope it out. And then when I heard that, you know, when you said early on in the video that he, you know, they shouted out the setup to Harris, and they thought it was pretty cool, I definitely had to scope it out. But yeah, it looked really cool. The whole backdrop and everything. I really like the some of the things that streamers, the creativity that everyone has with their backdrops and their, you know, I mean, just having a really cool environment that just kind of, you know, makes you pick out little things like, oh, you know, I see that Pokeball in the background. That's cool. They must like Pokemon. Or, oh, snap, you know, is that a, you know, first edition comic book of the series or whatever? I think it's really cool. And it definitely brings that level of connectivity between you and the viewer without even having to say anything, which I think is really, really cool. And, you know, I'm quite envious of that. I'm kind of hoping whenever we, whatever house we wind up moving into in the next, you know, few months or whatever, that I have the ability to have an office, because I have definitely accumulated a crap ton of nerdy stuff, and I can't wait to take it out of the boxes and show it to everyone. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
I can't wait to see it, bud. Can't wait to see it. That's gonna be so cool.
I'm sure my wife can't wait to have it, you know, actually have a home instead of just accumulating all over the house.
So how is the remodeling going, by the way, and everything? Is that done now, or is it just waiting to sell? What's going on?
It's like very piecemeal. Like we're doing kind of like a little bit of rooms here and there. It's just really just to kind of like update a few areas and freshen things up and just make it, overall presentable. Take the holes out of walls that little ones decided to kick in or smash in with a baseball bat or something. But no, it's coming along. I think next week we're gonna have another contractor in doing another room in the house. Again, just like little minor stuff, little touches, and we're hoping maybe to put the house on the market in like a month or two. And with the way the market's been right now, it's looking like, I mean, the house could sell like in a matter of days. My brother-in-law, actually, who's also trying to find a house, he literally will go on the internet, see that a house was posted hours ago, try to put a bid on the house, and they can't because they already had an offer accepted in less than 24 hours.
Wow.
So
okay.
It's crazy. It's kind of scary actually how crazy it is, because I'm also afraid that like if this house doesn't sell, the market may kind of rebound in the opposite direction and make things a little bit more challenging.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said before, we don't know what's happening in the next 5 years, or even the next 5 months.
Yeah.
So we'll see where life takes us, and hopefully things pan out.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for being on Streamer Struggles Registered. I'm gonna end the call now. It's been great having you on the show. Thank you so much for agreeing, and I'm so glad we managed to make it work. The time.
Finally, thank you for having me, Gleaney.
No problem.
The anticipation was building.
Oh, I know, right? I was so excited to have you on board. It's been great. All right. Catch you later, dude.
All right.
Disconnect.
Later.
Later.